You're going to want to pay extremely close attention. The rules are changing, and if you don't know this information, you're more likely to be on the losing side than the winning side.
I'm really excited about this.
Dean Graziosi, Michael Sain, Katrina Ruth, Ryan Dice, the one and only Russell Brunson, Sonia Riccati. We have Molly here, Todd Brown, Roland Fraser, Mike Diller, Jeff Walker, Neil Patel, Dennis Hughes. I think that there's a high risk of mass extinction of internet businesses.
Millions of businesses, big and small, closed, pushing us into the worst global recession in history.
The writing is on the wall because things are changing, things are happening.
Change in the industry that's forcing people to evolve and adapt or basically die.
You need to see this to understand it.
Something like that will happen. You can write it in blood.
If there was a tactic or strategy that you were most excited about, what would it be?
We can go as deep as you want.
I call this content sprouting.
These strategies work for any social media platform.
If you believe it's a good idea, you should stick with that.
When your business becomes part of someone's identity, that's when they stick. This is really crazy. I don't know if I ever shared this with you. Waste the least amount of money to find that winner. That's how you win for $1 a day.
Now, I have people that are on my list for 2 years that are still opening the emails.
To get this many amazing people in a room, just amazing.
We're about to take you behind the scenes.
I love what you're doing here. This is amazing.
If you want to know what's happening in the future, tune in now.
Hello, hello, hello. So welcome, everyone. Rich Sheffrin here, and here we are for our bi-weekly or twice a week live stream. And so it's Thursday night in the East Coast. It's 6 p.m. And I am actually broadcasting to you from a different platform today. I am using StreamYard. So I will let you guys know how StreamYard is, but I am new to this. So I just want to say, bear with me today if for any reason we have any challenges, but I want to, oh, wow, this is going to be a problem. Why am I not seeing, let's see. All right, well, some people are, it's so interesting. Okay, so I'll show you guys in a second, but right now, what's cool about StreamYard is that I am not only broadcasting to Facebook, but I'm also broadcasting to YouTube. And so right now it's playing in both, and I'm going to try this out and I'm going to see how it works. Also, in case you guys didn't see the results so far of this YouTube test have been somewhat over the top, crazily great. My fingers are crossed that it continues to be this good. And, but if you go to YouTube right now and you type in how to get customers, we are #1. If you type in digital marketing strategies, we are #2. And tonight we'll be making, if all things go okay, we'll be making another video tonight for YouTube. So you get the pleasure of watching me nervous. You get the pleasure of me trying to figure out what I'm going to say before I say it so that I can do this in one take. That's what we've been doing so far. And it's really interesting. Like Jane, let's see. Oh, I'm not sure if that's Jane. I will put the comments up in a second. And as always, please, let's make this as much of a dialogue as possible, not a monologue by me. Monologues are kind of boring. And in addition to that, you don't get very much from them. So let's have a conversation. The conversation will help you, but it also helps me because when you emote and comment and share, I benefit because it helps get this message out. It tells the Facebook algorithm gods that this is worthy of being passed around, and that helps both me and you. It helps me because obviously it expands my reach. It helps you because who knows where the most amazing question is going to come from. And also, I'm sure that if you like it, your friends would like it too if they are involved in online marketing. So yeah, lots going on. The YouTube experiment continues. And so for the first time ever, I'm getting traffic to my Facebook, to my YouTube channel and subscribers that didn't come by looking for Rich Schefren, which is kind of nice because it means I'm getting more than just people who are looking for me. And I put the guys that are helping me with YouTube right now on that project in touch with one of the smaller divisions of Agora right now to test out to see if we can actually get a promo video ranked in YouTube and get free traffic to a promo video. So they're going to do a bunch of editing. I will keep you guys posted to let you know how that goes. But it is interesting to say the very least. And we are going to figure out a way to keep these guys extremely busy, I am sure. So that's that. I will be pulling in the comments. I will be pulling in the comments in a second. So please comment away. And also, if you do share it, put hashtag shared so I know to thank you personally and to have good thoughts in my head about you anytime I see your name. And what else is going on? We've been, more people are starting to promote Steal Our Winners. So we're really excited about that. But I do think that I have, and this will be interesting, I think, to most of you if you're a Steal Our Winners subscriber. What's really interesting to me is that I really don't think, like, if you're on the live stream or you've been on a lot of these streams, then you probably have a good sense of what Steal Our Winners is. But I don't know that people who buy it now necessarily do. And, you know, I know how valuable the product is, but I don't know that that is as experienced. You know, one way that I was kind of like just playing with on that whiteboard back there is that last night was, you know, how would you like the recordings from every exclusive mastermind, you know, every expensive exclusive mastermind delivered to your door each and every month? Not the whole mastermind, but just the most powerful tactics, strategies, and growth hacks right to your door. So something like that, right? And we also got an idea from someone and from a client about bundling the Steal Our Winners, which is something I wanted to do, but I think they did a great job of showing, of like actually conveying the idea. And I'm spacing on the name right now, but thank you if you're watching this. Really appreciate that. Well done. So anyway, guys, so I thought we would talk about the mistakes that people make when starting an online business. I think that no matter where you are in your evolution, even if you have a successful business, some of these factors are things to be looking at. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Of course, your questions can take me any which way, and I'm happy to go in those directions. What I do want to cover is some, what I do want to cover are some of the things related to what I want to create this video about in about an hour and 30 minutes from now. The video that we're going to create today is, what was the exact title? I think it was like how to start an online business or something like that. I better know what that title is before I go live to record it. But yeah, let me just make sure. Let's see. I'm looking. I can't find it. I know he sent it to me. Oh, yeah. How to start an online business, right? So I think that gives us quite a bit of leeway. And so I want to make sure that I take advantage of that leeway by giving something good, but also kind of discussing a bunch of things that I want to share with you guys. One of them for definite sure is I came up with a question list about how to express your idea. And then once expressed, like the questions I generally ask when someone is telling me a business idea to help them get clarity and for them to give me the clarity that I need to kind of determine whether or not the idea has substance and legs to it. So let's go to the comments. Oh, by the way, that this right there, that link is to the where the promo video, what the promo video is about. So that promo video that shows the 10 free episodes with people like, or not like, Mark Ford, Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Neil Patel, Eric Siu, Molly Mahoney, Todd Herman, Perry Marshall, James Von Ellswick, Taylor Welsh, Chris Evans, Ryan Levesque, Charles Kirkland, Anthony and Adrian Morrison, Ryan Dice, Roland Frazier, Mike Filsane, and Jeff Walker, and Mike Dillard. So that's not a bad assortment of free videos that you get. And there's the link. Appreciate that, Vincenzo. And so now let's go to the comments. So this is interesting. Whoever posted this, you're watching it somewhere where it's not picking up who you are. I'm not sure why, but maybe like some of you whose name is seen can tell me where you're watching this video from, because we're doing it differently this time. And so I'm not sure where you can comment, where you can't. So, hey, Kayvon, glad to see you and hope it's not too cold in Vancouver. And thank you for the share. Appreciate it much. Hey, from Miami, Florida. I don't know if that's you, Hugo, or Jane, but whoever it is, thank you. And maybe you could say, if that was you, where you are watching it from. Hey, Vincenzo, good to see you. Where are you watching this? I know you're watching it on Facebook, but are you watching it in the group, or are you watching it on my page or my personal page? Probably if you're watching it on my personal page and we're not friends, that might be the reason why I can't see your comment, but I don't know. I mean, can't know who it is. Dr. Vogelman is in the house. And hey, back to you in Coronado Island. I always have a hard time pronouncing that, in downtown, across the bay from downtown San Diego. Shared. Thank you, Dr. Vogelman. I appreciate you. Hello, Renan, and thank you for the email that you sent over. Appreciated that. Hello, coming from Miami Beach again. Yeah, don't know why you're not being shown. Yay for StreamYard. Yep, Dr. Vogelman was the guy that said it in the last stream, and so I figured I would give it a test. Yeah, I don't want to end the broadcast. That's what the big red button is in the upper right-hand corner. Love the doc you shared on the page. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, for those that don't know, I said during a Q&A call that I would post the report that I wrote, the very first report I wrote for the Founders Club. The Founders Club was a paid continuity program where I wrote a report every 2 months. And when we first launched it, it also came with webinars from me and Todd Brown and a bunch of other things. But when I sat down to figure out, like, what was it that I most wanted people to understand, was how my complete overview of how you go from an idea to a business that you're ultimately free of. And so that's the report I wrote. I think it's about 65 or 70 pages. It ends with a really cool exercise where you take your profit model that you've worked out in the report, and you put it on a mind map, and you have on that mind map all the tasks that need to be done in order for that profit model to be executed. And then you color code it based on who's responsible. And if it's your business alone right now and you are the only worker in the business, then unfortunately your mind map would be only one color, and it would be your color. But the goal of business is to get your color off the mind map. And so the more of the tasks that execute your profit model end up not being your own responsibility, the more free you are, the less of your color is on that mind map. And so it's a cool exercise to go through, and I hope that you've gotten it. And if you want it, it is in the Facebook group right now, the Strategic Profits Facebook group. And it normally, is something that we would charge for, but it is there in the Facebook group for free. So check it out. But thank you, whoever you are, for saying thank you for the document. Carlos from Venezuela, good to see you, my friend. And hello from DC, Rich. Awesome intro. Great interview with JLD on Tuesday. I pre-ordered his book and shared. Thank you. I think this is Jane from DC, right? I'm always confused, but I think so. And if so, thank you. What is up from Aventura? Where are you putting a live event in Florida in place? I will be doing it again in Delray Beach, Florida. That's where we'll be doing that event again, but trying to lock down dates. I'm thinking like right before we go full summer, but who knows? Asma, is watching us on YouTube from Egypt. So our first comment ever during a live stream, not a first comment ever while actually doing a live stream on YouTube. So pretty cool. I'm happy about that. Luis, I would imagine that is from Mexico. And Luis, where are you watching this on? Thank you, Dr. Vogelman, for telling Mark Zuckerberg that this is a worthy video. I'm doing well. How are you doing? And digital marketing. Yep. Digital marketing strategies, though. Hey, Rich, Brian from Frozen, Houston. Yeah. Wow. Who would have ever thought, right? So many followers from Florida. We should set up a meetup, and we will. Maybe next week or the week thereafter, we will set one up for some time in the future. Hi, Rich. What would be easier to promote, Make Money Online or a health and fitness niche? I would say that it really depends, right? Like, Make Money Online, if you really can deliver the goods and you have good stories and you have lots of proof, is highly competitive, but the back ends can be relatively high. And so because of that, the customer value can be very high, which then means you can spend a bunch of money to get a customer. So there's that. On the other hand, I'm not sure what you mean by the health and fitness niche. If you mean like supplements are a phenomenal business, especially if you're doing continuity with it, like auto ship. If you're talking about info products, then I think health and fitness really works when you have also a really good story. You have you're charismatic. Or your personality is the personality that's going to be the front person for this is charismatic. There are other elements. So it's hard to say just like on the surface, this is better than that. They each have pros and cons. It also kind of depends on what your skill set is and what you're bringing to the table. But I hope that helps, Facebook user. Teresa's in the house. Good to see you, Teresa. And yep, today the stream is on YouTube, which I think is pretty cool. Wait, okay, there, wait, I don't know where okay, there we go. Hey, Rich, tuning in from Tampa. Good to see you. How do you find a business idea? We're going to talk about that. So I will answer that question, Monk. I spent more time in digital devolution than evolution in my online business life. That's changing now. Yeah, let's hope that changes, my friend. How to start an online business that actually works. Yes, there you go. And there's the bit.ly to the blah, 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 the docuseries. People have to sign into StreamYard to give permission to have Facebook show their names. Oh, really? Is that what it is? So all the people who are commenting, Dr. Vogelman, have already signed in to StreamYard? That's amazing if it is. Or do you just have to click a button or something? Jamaica. Wow. How is the weather in Jamaica these days? Very cold and snowy island. Which island is that? On the personal page. Okay, so you're on the personal page. Got it. I'm watching the video from... Okay, so that's my fan page. Thanks, Debbie. Tommy, hello to you too. Hey, Chris. New Jersey is in the house. Good to see you, Chris. Chris, I sent you a reply. I'm curious if you got anything out of those. New Mexico, nice to see you, Facebook user. That was me, Hugo, watching it on Facebook on my phone. Oh, okay, cool. I wonder why we can't see you then. This is necessary to get your name and face in this place. I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard Facebook. Ah, okay. Good to know. Maybe I'll take a screenshot of that so I don't forget for next time. Why isn't that doing a screenshot? All right. Control-Shift-3. There we go. No, thanks. Cool. Is there going to be a replay, I guess? Yes, I imagine there will be, but I don't know when. Yes, autocorrect. Rich, I thought the CEO must own marketing and sales and can't outsource that initially, at least. Yeah, I wasn't saying anything otherwise, but the goal of your business, your goal as an entrepreneur should be to build a business that ultimately does not need you, not only to operate, but doesn't need you to grow and do new things. That's really, from my perspective, the business that you want to build. And we're going to get into some of that. I even prepared different banners to cover different points. Oh, wow. You deactivated Facebook. Well, good then to see you, Arnold. I'm glad that we are doing it on Facebook too, so that you can watch this. Very cool. And I wonder, oh yeah, so there you go. Oh, wow. I can see how many people are watching on each different platform. That's interesting. That's really interesting. That's very cool. Hello, Facebook user in London. Have I been working on any new reports lately? I wrote a report that I haven't released. That's like 90% done or 95% done, but I haven't. I wrote that a while back. I might write a report. I'm strongly considering writing a report. If I did, it would be something that I could pass out for free, maybe not even with an opt-in. And it probably would set up the case for why something like Steal Our Winners is so valuable without necessarily speaking to that specifically, right? You know, the whole idea, right, is that I thought business coaching was extremely valuable to making money online. My market did not. I thought it did because I had certain experiences that had led me to that conclusion that business coaching would help you be more successful online and help you build a business. And so I wrote the Internet Business Manifesto. One way of looking at it is that to give people the experiences that I had that led me to that conclusion, that led them to that conclusion, so that then when I offered business coaching, people saw the value in it, right? Another way that I've always defined marketing is teaching prospects how to value your product. So I shared earlier that I don't know that people fully appreciate, new customers especially, what Steal Our Winners provides and how valuable that can be. And so since I believe it can be very valuable and is very valuable, and I'm not sure that other people see what I see, it's the same as what I did right with the Internet Business Manifesto. I would write a report so that people can understand why marketing tactics, while marketing principles last forever, marketing tactics spoil like milk. They don't age like wine. And so tell the stories about how we grew Agora like by $1 billion in 1 year, and like what happened when we invented the automated webinar and what it compared to now, right? So these are all based on a specific tactic, at a specific time. So if I were to write a report, that would be the report that I would want to write, because I would want to lead a large group of people to the recognition of what I see that they maybe currently don't. So that's what I would write. Bitly, the CSIB did not work for me. Can you? Well, let's see. Did you spell it correctly? Like not, I mean, like, no, you have to, if you're going to do it. Oh, did I do it like, if I didn't capitalize, then that's a problem. You have to capitalize it. So you have to do capital T, H-E, and then capital T, lowercase h-e, capital C-S-I-B. So let me just see. I'm going to get rid of this for a second. Oh, yeah, just like that. The C-S-I-B. I did it right. Cool. Hello, David from Spain. Nice to see you, David. Jane again from DC. Yes, that was me. Just connected my Facebook profile and StreamYard. So if you see my name and pick now, thanks, Dr. Vogelman. Maybe next time, maybe that'll happen. Hey, Juan, here you go. Here's the Bitly link. There you go. And hey, John in New Hampshire. Good to see you. Dr. Vogelman. StreamYard is quirky about permissions, but it's such an awesome platform once you get used to it. Hey, Rich, could you provide some tips if I was to launch a paid newsletter in a niche? I'm thinking about launching something with an audio recording as well. I've kind of held off on it for now, but it's becoming more intriguing to me. It would be a digital format only. How would you charge on it starting out? Well, since I'm not sure what it is, it's hard for me to tell you what to charge. But what I would say is that on YouTube, on my channel, there is a video. I think it's about 15 minutes long. It might be 30 minutes long, where I really talk about like the secrets of Agora and why a newsletter or really any continuity program is such an effective front-end product. But about why it's such an effective product is because anything on a subscription basis generally is sold by premium, ideally, and therefore it gives you the luxury to be able to create offers consistently that are tied to the premium, which allows you then to be highly relevant at the moment, because you can target whatever you want for the premium that you get free when you join your membership or subscribe to this newsletter or whatnot. So I hope that helps, Facebook user. Hey, yep, Hugo, we can see you now. All right, cool. All right, so wow, that's it? Okay. It seemed like there were so many more questions, but maybe not. Cool. All right. And Brian Miller from Auburn, Indiana. Good to see you, Brian. Okay. So, all right. So I wonder, well, let me go through the idea first. Why don't we do that, since I created stuff for it? And you guys tell me, right? Like, so at the end of this, I need to make a video about how to start an online business that actually works or that makes money or whatever. Now, a lot of videos there are going to be really skewed for the beginner, and my thought is that to give a few resources of where people can start their online business for free, give them a couple of reasons why I think an info business is the best business to start in any way, shape, or form, and explain why, and then kind of go into some of these details that I want to go in with you guys, because I think it's valuable. But you guys will be the judge. You'll let me know, I hope. So let's kind of go into your idea. right? So when you're thinking about a business, right, some of the things that you need to think about are who's your target, right? Who's your target market? And then can you create an avatar or persona that clearly defines the actual specific person, right? And so that is sort of critical, right? Because it's very difficult to be able to create an offer that is compelling unless you know about the person that you're selling to, right? And as I've often shared the quote by Jay Abraham, he said, most entrepreneurs fall in love with the wrong thing. They either fall in love with their business or they fall in love with their product, when in fact they should fall in love with their customer. And Dan Kennedy had this great exercise a gazillion years ago at a copywriting seminar where he had people spend 5 minutes and describe pick their favorite character from Seinfeld, and then describe that person, right on the page for 5 minutes, describe that character, right? Then when that exercise was done, he said, turn the page over. Now for the next 5 minutes, describe your customer. And if you have a hard time if you're having a harder time filling out the one about your customer than the character on Seinfeld, it's clear where your priorities lie, which powerful. So anyway, who is the target, right? Who's your target market? And then more specifically, can you actually define specific personas or one persona that you're actually going after? What specific problem are you solving, right? So hopefully you're solving some sort of conflict, either a goal unattained, a problem unresolved. But what specific problem are you solving? What's the market size, right? Like, how is there a large enough market, which for most small businesses these days, online, you're talking to a worldwide audience. So the market size for most products, most things these days is actually bigger than you would think. What's the business model, right? Like at the end of the day, how does this business actually make its money? How does it create its products? How does it get paid? These are all elements of the business model. And then last but not least, what's the solution? Like, what solution are you providing? Okay. So to explain your business idea, that's really what you need to hit, right? You need to talk about who you're targeting, what problem you're targeting, the number of people in the market and the number of people that potentially have that problem. What model, like how are you going to find these people? How are they going to pay you? What are they going to get? Etc. And then what solution are you offering? So these are the 5 questions, right, that ultimately you would need to express in your idea. If I heard that, my questions would be the following, right? So these would be my questions. And before I go further, I just want to check back with the comments because it's not on one screen like I generally have it. But I'd be curious, as I'm looking at the comments, to let me know what you think so far, right? And I know that I've gone over the generic stuff. The more valuable stuff, I would like to think, at least, is the questions that I would probe with. But let me know what you think so far. And okay. My niche is faith-based entrepreneurship. I want to launch a paid newsletter in that space. What do you mean by premium? Are you talking about an upsell? No, I'm not. I would just say find that video on YouTube on my channel about Agora. Rich, how long before you delete or stop emailing someone when he or she doesn't click in your email links, or you always keep them in your list? Well, this is all about email sender reputation, which I mentioned in the video that I put online on YouTube. And there's a Steal Our Winners coming out. I believe it's coming out in on March 1st or February 28th about that. It's an interview with Fernando Cruz, one of, or not, actually the best marketer at Agora. And so we currently do send email to the people who have not opened or clicked. But after doing the interview with Fernando Cruz, we are going to be changing that. So that will be definitely something that we institute. Might not be next week, but it is something that we're definitely going to be doing. Rich, healthcare beliefs are generally live with the practitioner. Do you take my insurance? How would I change that belief and bring some part of it online? I have a big idea with a great avatar that wants the unique mechanism, yet hard to convince them to take this offer digitally or with the product and service offline. Okay. I'm not sure I fully follow, so let's just take a look. Okay, I understand the first part, but I just wonder if you're going after the right people. Like, I have insurance, and the doctor I happen to go to for my general health doesn't take insurance. And if I want that doctor, which I do, I have to reach into my pocket and pay for it. If he gives me a prescription, my health insurance pays for that. But there is a segment of the market that doesn't let their insurance interfere with the medical choices that they make. So, and if they want your unique mechanism, then I'm not sure why it's hard to convince them to take your offer. So unless the unique mechanism in and of itself is a conflict with what it is that the way it's being offered, but I doubt that. And if it is, then I think you got to think about that. It was a bit late, but great content as always. So excited to be here tonight. Thanks, Rich. Thank you. John Lee Dumas calls at finding your perfect listener in the podcast space. I've always loved that because I love the picture of them all in one room. If you had 100 listeners, you have 100 people in one room listening to you. That is true. How do you find the golden vein and the falling in love with a customer? Well, what I would say is that how you fall in love with your customer, one, recognize what they do for you, which is allow you to have the business that you want. So you should be appreciative right there. But in addition to that, I'd say that, something I once heard Joe Rogan talk about that I get, like I really get, right? And that is that, after he had kids, he changed because when he would meet an asshole, he would realize that this is just a baby that didn't get like the love and attention and proper nurturing growing up. And so he sees them as a baby. I don't necessarily see people as babies, but I get it, right? I get that everybody's doing the best that they can. No one makes stupid decisions on purpose. And if someone is lazy, there are probably things that led to that laziness. Is someone super productive? There are things that led to that super productivity. And no one makes bad decisions on purpose. That doesn't mean people don't make lots of bad decisions, but just nobody makes bad decisions on purpose. And so when you see that, and you also recognize that no matter who you are, you make some bad decisions, also not on purpose, but maybe aware of the consequences of those bad decisions. It's easier to look at other people more and more, not completely, but more and more like you would look at yourself. And when you can look at other people the way you would look at yourself or someone that you love an incredible amount, it's much, much easier to empathize, and it's much, much easier to really allow what they feel to come over to you, which gives you great marketing power. But if you're a normal human being and by normal I mean not a sociopath, then feeling that empathy automatically increases the bond, if that makes sense. Like, let's see. I feel like I jumped around. Okay, there we go. So will you continue to email old subscribers or not? You do not. Well, we won't. Like, I don't. But we will. But we will move them slowly into less and less emails. And in the old days, the real Shiba, what I used to do, but I waited too long. I would go like 45 days was green, but I didn't make any difference until the end. So green, if they've clicked the link in the last 45 days, yellow, if they haven't clicked up to 90 days, and then red if they haven't clicked after 180 days. And then after 180 days, they would stay red in Infusionsoft, so therefore no longer mail them. And then they would be exported to ActiveCampaign, and we would mail them from ActiveCampaign. Hence, we wouldn't hurt our reputation on our email, on our IP address for email. Now, once again, well, not once again, but Shiba, if you're on a shared IP address on a big email provider, then I don't know how much difference that will make, because you got a lot of people who are sharing that reputation. I don't know if you can really move the needle in situations like that. In situations where we're talking about having an email reputation, you must have your own IP address, or you're sharing your reputation with a lot of other people. You don't even have a reputation, really. The IP address you're sending off of has it. No, I still can't. I jumped, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I guess when new comments come in, it scrolls down or something like that. I don't really understand what's going on. All right, all right, I know. Okay, that I saw that. Okay, saw that. All right. Suggestion, add number 6 question. How are you going to present your solution? And then you may give an actual example of how to make a product out of your solution. People look for this kind of info, might be interested in how to do it. Yeah, well, I was going to talk about like service to product, right? Potentially being affiliate first. So I was going to talk about some of those things, but thanks, Renan. Yeah, definitely. Move this over there. Okay. Concierge medicine is a cash-based medical model. There are plenty of patients who pay to play. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. I pay to play. In B2B, have you used LinkedIn Sales Navigator? If so, any tips? Not big on YouTube. Not big on LinkedIn right now. Not even broadcasting yet to LinkedIn, although I want to. So yeah, can't really give you too much advice, because for us, think about it. Like right now, we're not looking for our customers there. Yes, I got it. Old subscribers that don't open emails. Similar to the Seinfeld exercise, I find it easier to ask the specific problem question before the target market one. It's easier the same way that answering what do you want, what don't you want in your life is easier before being able to answer what do you want in your life. Got it. Okay. Appreciate that. For a better comment experience for all, please click to give StreamYard permission to display your lovely face and name at StreamYard.com/Facebook. Yes, thank you, Dr. Vogelman, for putting that in. Glad I could help you, Arnold. It's a very scalable business model. VIP Medical, I think, is a relatively big business. Hey, Rich, 2 questions. First of all, what are your impressions of Clubhouse? Second, have you ever considered launching a podcast of your own? Why or why not? I am launching a podcast. It's going to be with the same people that are in Steal Our Winners. I'm going to record it right after, and they're going to be 15 to 20 minutes long, and they're going to be like designed for big takeaways. And so I will be. And I believe that by doing that, it allows me to put out a lot of free content that will actually sell Steal Our Winners. So that's cool. It allows me to be posting to YouTube and to Facebook this content, which is cool. And my impressions of Clubhouse are that three things. One, it's really good for me because it puts me in touch with a lot of influencers who know me, but I don't know them, but I should know them. So that's really kind of cool. It also, because most of the time when I join a room that's related to marketing or business growth, I do get pulled up into the speaker position. It allows me exposure to a lot of people who don't know who I am because I was very non-active for about 6 or 7 years online. So for that reason, it's good. So those two reasons are really good. What I don't like is that I feel like sometimes it's one-upmanship with speakers, which I don't like, especially when someone is giving advice that is a watered-down version of what I said 10 years ago, where I know the person they learned it from and the person that then that person learned from, and then that, right? So that person is like 4 degrees removed, and they're teaching something that I originally created, and I'm listening to them butcher it. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to correct someone, or that would be bad form. So I just sit there and listen to it, scratching my head, being like, man, this sucks. So, so I have a love-hate relationship, I guess. All right. Just checking in here on YouTube to see if the permissions are working. Good. Looks good here. Cool. Thank you for doing that, Dr. Vogelman. By the way, knew you years ago, used to work for you at Dynamic Changes. Oh, well, so good to see you then. I would love it if you would message me. Can you message me in YouTube or on Facebook? I'd love to actually talk to you, find out what you've been doing for the last almost 20 years. Crazy, right? Wow. It looks like we've both moved on to bigger and better things, Sheba. StreamYard is still in beta. The comments have a little bit wonky for the past 2 weeks. Got it. Aside from Steal Our Winners, what are you selling right now? Absolutely nothing. Going to be relaunching my coaching program and talking to Maxwell Finn about potentially bringing his trainings into the Strategic Profits umbrella. And I'm talking to Felicia Pagesh, and we might start doing a challenge a month inside the Steal Our Winners membership, and then also sell that externally for new clients, and they can decide whether they want to pay $49 for the challenge or $49 for Steal Our Winners and get the challenge for free and everything else. So, the model that I have in my mind that I want Strategic Profits to be requires Steal Our Winners to be exceptional, be large, and to be really the big front door to our business, with lots of very nice rooms inside, different coaching programs, etc. But Steal Our Winners really has to be effective for the model that I want to work, and so hence not focusing on much until I really feel like we've nailed it, because I don't want to get distracted and pulled on other things. Oh, other big news in my life is that hired my assistant, Sandra Stewart, in Canada, and had my first 2-hour Zoom with her this morning. She'll be up and running for real March 1st. But we spent 2 hours this morning going over, showing her how ridiculous I am with email, and so that I can get out of that situation permanently, and also just getting a bunch of paperwork in place as well. So super excited about that. Good idea, re-podcast. Thanks, man. Short podcasts totally rock. I agree, especially when it's like, you guys could tell me, but I wrote down 3 questions in my journal that I was thinking about asking. So hold on, let me grab it. Here it is. Okay, so here were the questions I was thinking about, like if I, at least for right now, right? What's the most profitable and effective campaign that you've ever done or been a part of? And what were the biggest takeaways from it? Right? I think that would be an interesting question, since I'm finding out in Steal Our Winners what's the most effective strategy they have right now that nobody knows about. I think the most effective strategy or campaign that they've ever been a part of, or, it was theirs. And what were the biggest takeaways? Like for me, I certainly would be sharing what I learned. The most effective campaign I ever did was the manifesto launch. And there's a lot of takeaways I got from that. The second question would be, what book, course, or program did you learn something extremely valuable to you, and what was it? What's the most important activity you do to grow your business, and how often do you do it? So those were like 3 questions I was thinking of. I'm going to try and come up with better versions of those kind of questions, but something that something that they do almost daily that grow their business, some big takeaway from the most profitable or effective campaign that they've ever run, and one of the biggest takeaways they ever learned somewhere else, right? So I think that if I had all the people that are contributing to Steal Our Winners sharing stuff like that, I think it would be very valuable, especially if it was just a 15-minute, like, dive right into it and then dive out. Another suggestion for each question: post a link to a video of your channel deeply explaining the subject. Ooh. This way people can continue to consume your awesome content selected by you. Hey, Vincenzo, I don't know if you're still awake, but that is a phenomenal idea. I love it. Thank you, Renan. For others not as well known as you, how could one do on Clubhouse to give more value? Well, people are, first you have to get up on the panel, right? But if you can get up on the panel, then it's just about knowing your subject and delivering. Twitter uprise happening this year. Interested to know your thoughts. What do you mean by Twitter uprise? Because that could be defined as a lot of things. So before I speak at a school, what do you mean about the Twitter uprise? Do Agora still accept affiliates? I saw their pages a few years ago, but it was removed. Yeah, it's not public, but you certainly, if you see an offer that you like and you can move some traffic, you certainly can be an affiliate. You have to be vetted first. There's a lot of one-upmanship on Clubhouse. I often stick to smaller rooms for that very reason. Totally get it. We'll message you. Would absolutely love to reconnect. Cool. Awesome. Can you put the link of the podcast when I search? I cannot find it. I haven't created the podcast yet. I actually talked to Joe Fier. When did I talk to Joe Fier? The beginning of this week. So he's going to be back in Steal Our Winners, him and Matt Wolf. And also, I reached out to them to help me get the podcast off the ground. That sounds a lot like a perpetual live event, SOW, with breakout rooms for subgroups. What does? Rich, when hiring a copywriter to be to control email sequence that you are running to your customers, would you expect a copywriter to guarantee the result you're looking for, help to reach a certain target goal? And what would you do if the copywriter does not reach that goal or does not even increase the sales conversion? Or what if it converts lower than the sequence you have in place? Well, generally, Hugo, the way it works is that you pay a copywriter, and then if they beat the control, they get a royalty. So, you're paying the copywriter for their time. Different copywriters can charge different amounts for their time. Some copywriters, like A-level copywriters, generally won't write no matter how much you offer up front, unless it's an ungodly sum, because it's not really about the money that you pay. It's the money that they could earn from the royalty. So before Clayton Makepeace passed away, he rewrote a lot of my reports for me because he wanted to learn the material. And he did it for me for free. He did it for me as a friend, and also as a peer, he wanted to learn the material because I had taught Clayton a lot of things that had made a big difference in a lot of the businesses that he worked in. However, I couldn't even ask him to write a sales letter for me because I wouldn't be able to send enough traffic to the site so I could pay him the royalties that he's used to, right? Like when he wrote the very first health supplement Magalog, he got paid 5 cents for every time, for every one that was mailed, and they mailed 80 million of them. So, he got paid $25,000 to write the Magalog, or, back then maybe less, but he got paid 4 million in royalties. So Hugo, it's, if it's someone who's unknown, then they got to prove it, and then it should be all royalty. If it's someone who is known, then you should have a base level. That's really so that their time is not wasted. But like they don't really move the needle unless they hit the number, and then that number is based on how much extra that performs for you, how much more it's used. Like if you can put in a royalty that's useful. I don't know any great copywriter or even good copywriter that would take on a project and say, if I don't beat the control, you don't have to pay me. Because that's like a very speculative, they wouldn't do it because their time is worth something. So I hope that helps you go. Damn, I'm still not good at this though. I heard Rich is having a newborn. I hope not. I truly hope not. If I am having a newborn, I'm in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. What else is needed besides SOW? Well, something to further monetize, but waiting for your podcast, Rich. I was searching on Spotify, but didn't find yours. Can't wait. Thanks, man. Greetings, Rich. Would the relaunch of your coaching program focus on scaling existing businesses, or would it focus on newbies looking to start a business? Perhaps it would be a combination of both. Basically, are you in a position to describe your ideal customer, or is that a work in progress at this stage? Thanks. Both, really. And the question is that I'm going to tighten it up, but what ultimately I teach people is how to be a much better entrepreneur, period, right? And so that doesn't matter whether you're scaling or just starting. The actual technical things change very frequently. And but the principles of business, of, acquiring customers for less than their value, ideally less than cart value, so that you can really scale. And the idea that your business is a set of assumptions and making sure they're all valid so that you can fully scale and not plateau. And the recognition of all the elements that are necessary to make it work and be able to spot the constraints in the setup or the growth. And so I would say that while not fully thought through yet, I was building a course on scaling. And then I thought that really there's a lot of people that offer courses on scaling. And where I am best is teaching people how to be the most effective entrepreneur they can be. And that doesn't matter whether you're scaling, starting, or anywhere in between. And so, Damon, that's where I'm pretty certain the direction I'm headed, but I wouldn't say I'm 100% because I'm going to have some conversations where I could be swayed. How often are you thinking of producing content for the podcast? Once a week, daily? I really love the idea of being able to finally put you in my feed. Well, thank you for asking and saying that. Probably about 8 to 12 times a month. So either twice a week or 3 times a week. Your idea of expanded strategic profits mega membership site. Clayton was such a generous soul. Yes, he was, and I miss him. Rich, for the health niche, can you email every day like to make money? Yes, you can email every day in almost every niche because you're talking to people who are interested in that topic. Have I gotten a dog yet? No, I haven't. I'm going to get another Great Dane, but I told my kids, and this is what I'm committed to, it was get an assistant first, car second, dog third. So I haven't bought a car yet. Been using Kim's car a little bit, but for most part, I don't have to leave here very often. This is another building on my property. So I get to just walk across our pool to this office, so I don't have to go out very often. But I will be getting a dog. But the next thing is car. Did you mention the length of each podcast? I think they'll be like 15 or 20 minutes. I think I want them to be short. I want them to have some really good tips or like ideas, and then just move on. All right, so let's get back to my questions, because I think you'll find them more interesting anyway than the generic ones. First one: do you have or had this problem? The reason I ask this is because when someone has had this problem or has the problem, as long as they can provide a valuable solution, it takes a lot less skill to actually then sell other people the solution if you have the problem also. So all of my reports, my free reports, like the Internet Business Manifesto, the final chapter, the missing chapter, the Attention Age Doctrine 1 and 2, the Maven Manifesto, the Entrepreneurial Emergency, the Uncertainty Syndrome, all of them are somewhat autobiographical. And so one of the reasons why I don't consider myself a copywriter is that the only markets I've ever written copy for are markets that I'm a member of. The only things I've ever written about are things that I've been passionate about. I don't know how good or bad I would be. I assume somewhat bad to write something where, like, I had to do what a copywriter does: learn the market, figure out the emotions, write to that. I haven't done that. And so I like to ask this question, because if the answer is yes, the best answer is I had the problem, but I solved it, right? Because that means they have the solution, at least for themselves. The second best answer is they have the problem. The third one would be no, and they don't know anyone. That would be even worse, right? That has the problem. But just, in life, you don't get any extra points for taking the hard way, right? You don't get any extra points for going the more uncertain route. And so if I was going to start again tomorrow, ideally, I would be looking at the problems that I've experienced in my life, how I've solved them, and what of those solutions might be valuable to others, or is there any problem I'm currently experiencing that if I solved, I could sell that solution to others? So that's my first question. My second question: is the problem severe, urgent, and consequential? So, there are problems, and then there are serious problems, and we want to focus on the more serious the problem, the more urgent the problem, the more consequential the problem, the better the problem is to be solved, right? So I remember when I first got online, and this was really beaten into my head by a lot of the stuff I read, the gurus I studied, etc. And so I really thought long and hard about what is it that someone would type into a search engine that just by typing in the search engine, they have an urgent problem, a problem they got to solve that they do not have a solution for right now. And if they don't solve it, the consequences more than likely will be severe. So I'm curious, when I set it up that way, and if you know what this website was that I did first, please don't say it. Let's see if with that as the frame, can you pick something that would be typed into a search engine that would let you know that the person has a severe, urgent, consequential problem? Urgent's important, right? So it's not just a general problem, but urgent problem. That there would be consequences if it's not solved, and by the fact that they're doing a search, it means it's not solved. Do you guys have any ideas of things that would solve for all those conditions? And then I'll tell you what mine was. Okay. Whoops. Your course. Do you build the course before you launch or you sell prior to building? I sell always prior to building. How about a video, how you can become the best entrepreneur you can be? That would be great, man. Do you know how people search for this subject, though? I will find out. Rich, what would it take to get an interview, to get you as an interview on the podcast? What do you look for one considering a podcast? Are you willing to go for newer shows? I'm willing to go for newer shows. Just send me a message in Facebook or post something to the Facebook group, but I'm always game to give people some of my time for an interview. It was not hypnosis. What's the favorite podcast you listen to daily? I don't listen to any podcast daily, but I got a lot of podcasts that I listen to, but I'd say the one that I listen to more than any is Joe Rogan. Reducing anxiety and fear. Guys, that's it. I don't know if there's a delay on these like the other ones, but you guys could do better than that. No other ideas, guys? Creating balance. No. I'm not able to go into ministry like I used to be able to, so I need to take my ministry online. Okay. I don't know if that's eye drops for eyesight loss. Not bad, Denise. That mine was how to beat a drug test. So Lewis got it. And think about it, right? Or how to pass a drug test. If someone types in how to pass a drug test, what do we know? We know, one, that they probably have a drug test scheduled. Two, they're not going to pass it now. Because you don't search for how to pass a drug test if you don't need to worry about it. So when someone types in how to pass a drug test, it means they have a problem, right? That problem is severe. It is urgent, and there are consequences, right? Like losing your job. And so that was one of the first ebooks I ever put online. It was how to pass a drug test, how to beat a drug test. And it was sold for $47. We sold the crap out of it. And then when I partnered with Jay Abraham on a bunch of stuff, when I started to, he didn't want me to have it anymore, so I took it down. This is pre-legalization and everything. However, what's really interesting, and I didn't know this at the time, is that, while marijuana stays in your bloodstream for like 30 days or can, cocaine, crack, heroin, Adderall, like meth, amphetamine, etc., generally all pass through your system in like 2 days. Obviously, don't quote me on that. Don't go by my advice. But yeah. So anyway, is the problem severe, urgent, and consequential? The more so it is, the easier it's going to be to sell. Okay. Is the problem frequently experienced? Like, do most people in the market eventually have this problem? Do very few, right? Like, how often or what percentage of the target market will have this problem at some point? How many have it at any given point? These are issues to strongly consider. For the target market, is solving the problem necessary? There are a lot of problems that most of us walk around with, but we haven't gotten pushed out of our status quo, so we do not take the actions to solve it. All right. Next. Is it a problem in search of a solution? In other words, are people spending money, spending time to try and solve this problem? If people are not spending time, not spending money to solve this problem, that doesn't bode well. And it's probably not a problem you should focus on. Is it a proven market? Is it a market proven to spend money? Right. So when I first met Todd Brown, he had a course on how to grow your massage practice. The only problem is that masseuses don't make a lot of money most of the time. Not all of them, but most of them. When he switched to a different market, right, a market more proven to spend money, chiropractors, He could offer similar advice, similar tactics, but charge more and also reach a hungrier audience who are also more prone to buy. So you got to look at your market. Is it proven to spend money? Do you understand the market, right? This goes back to the problem. Or are you a part of it? Like I said, I'm a part of pretty much every market that I've focused on. Do you have an unfair advantage against the competition? And, you know, in my business growth system webinar, right, what I used to use to pitch my coaching program, I talked about a client, one of my original clients, and I think I'm forgetting his name now, but let's call him Giovanni, I think, but I don't know if that was his name now. I'm forgetting. But anyway, he was a professional tennis player in addition to being an entrepreneur. And I'm a good tennis player, but I'm not a great tennis player. And so I would never play tennis for money against Giovanni. I'd be an absolute fool to think that I'm going to beat him because he has a competitive advantage there. So it'd be silly for me to bet my money where someone has a competitive advantage over me. Business is the biggest game for money you are ever going to play. So if it doesn't make sense to play a professional tennis player a game of tennis for money, why would you play the game for the most amount of money you're ever going to play for in your life in a game where you don't have an advantage? It makes absolutely no sense. And it's one of the reasons why so many people buy courses that don't deliver, because the person running that business has they shouldn't be running that business, but more so because they have no advantage. They don't bring anything to the table that actually makes what they're doing any different or better than what other people could do or are doing. Do you want to play the biggest game that you're ever going to bet money on in a game where you have no advantage? And for most people who buy online courses that are not clear about what they're doing, and they're buying a course to figure out what they're going to, what kind of business they're going to have, in general, they have no competitive advantage. And it's one of the reasons why people will fail. I'm really curious what your thoughts are about that. So I'm going to go back to the comments here in a second. And remember, let's make this as much of a dialogue as possible. Remember, you can always share this at any time and then let me know by putting #shared. And if you're watching this on YouTube, by all means, please subscribe to my channel. Give it the thumbs up. Oh, wow. We have 19 people watching on YouTube. That's pretty damn cool. That's more people than I think I've had when I was playing a stream. So anyway, yeah, I want to go to you guys and hear what you think. But before I do, the other problem is that, well, it coincides with this is a lot of people get into a market they don't know. Okay, so that's strike one, because they have no experience in the market. They don't know it. So they have no advantage when it comes to the marketing or really understanding what the buying psychology. So they have none of that. They also don't know, because they don't know the market, they don't have anything unique to offer that market. So they also have, when it comes to creating value, they're going to have to learn how to create value. So they're going to have to learn about the target market. They're going to have to learn how to create value, then create that value. And then still they have zero advantage. To me, it'd be like me opening a restaurant tomorrow without knowing a single thing about opening a restaurant. What is this? Drug test. This one's not a bad one. Lose 20 pounds for my wedding. That could be a good one. Oh, cool. Ex-Founders Club member here from Michigan. Well, nice to see you, John. Thank you, Dynamo. How to beat a drug test. Yes, how to beat a drug test. The site is no longer up. Rich, what's better, cocaine or ecstasy? Well, that's not how you spell ecstasy. I never tried cocaine. But I did do a lot of ecstasy when I was in my 20s, so about 30 years ago. 3 days. Oh, is it 3 days? Got it. Rich, can I share my webinar on Facebook group? I'm just starting doing it and want to hear your suggestions to make it good and listen to our friends there too. It depends. If your website, oh yeah, sure. Share a link to your website. Hopefully it's not selling how to make money, because then that kind of is lame. But if it's something other than that, by all means, post it to the Facebook group. I can imagine free to pee, you and me drug test conquest program. Okay, doctor. I remember spending a considerable sum of money, yeah, as a chiropractor with Todd for sure. YouTube works really awesome. Yeah, it's interesting. I now have 20 people watching this live on YouTube. Maybe I wonder if that's because the videos, I've just gotten a bunch of new subscribers, or if that's has anything to do with the fact that I'm gotten these last 2 videos ranked thanks to Vincenzo, but who knows? Yes, I agree. Be a pioneer. Too many phony copiers. I think it's very tricky to recognize or have confidence in one's unfair advantage, similar to knowing one's unique ability. Thoughts? Well, yes and no, right? Like, I would say that for me, right, that I know that I'm a studier, right? I know that I have ADD. I know that I'm a high fact finder. So when you start piecing all these things together, right? And I'm a 4 Enneagram who sorts through their whole world through their own experience and feelings, and is very in touch with their own feelings and very somewhat self-absorbed about their experience and their feelings. So then take all of that, Kayvon, and lay that on a layer. I know you're a 4 too. You should know then that you are much more in touch with how you feel than most people are. So I know that if I share what I used to feel, that will resonate with a large group of people because I'm more in touch with my feelings as it relates to being able to describe it, right? Like, especially past tense, especially because I keep a journal, right? So, yes. Do you know, like, you don't, it's kind of like when you're doing market research, you're not looking for answers, you're looking for clues, right? You know, there's a murder, the police show up. They're not saying there's nowhere here that says who did it. They're looking for clues so that they can figure out who did it. So you don't find your competitive advantage. You find clues to what allows you to have a competitive advantage, so that these clues of what you're good at, what you're passionate about, what you can't mind your own business in, what keeps you on your computer a couple minutes longer than you should, but because you really should get going. What if you overheard, could you not contain yourself and butt in? These kinds of things, right? These things that you're passionate about, or these things that are just naturally come easy to you, or these things that you've learned through experience and things that you've done. These things allow you to create value some way, in some shape, in some form for some group of people. That's what we're talking about. So you can't find your competitive advantage generally. You find clues that allow you to know what your competitive advantage could be, but you don't find it, right? It's not out there. It comes from either what you built or what you bring to the table. And it's a lot easier at first to bring something to the table. Yes, you must have a unique selling mechanism. You don't always have to have a unique selling mechanism, but it certainly doesn't hurt. That's for sure. It's funny. I've become exceptionally good at helping ministries launch their podcast. I wanted to turn that into more coaching. I know I have an advantage because I've done it multiple times. All right. Well, then the question is, right? Like, there are different stages of awareness about podcasts. So there are some ministries, right, that already have been sold on the idea of starting a podcast. And for them, you want to show them why your solution is better than other solutions out there, doing it themselves, not doing it at all, or other companies. But then there are a lot of ministries that probably don't see the value of having a podcast and what it could do for them in far as whatever podcasts do for ministries. And so for them, you're not necessarily selling them on podcasts. You're selling them on what the potential benefits of having a podcast would do, like a bigger congregation or a more engaged congregation or greater congregation growth, or I don't know, right? I'm not that religious of a person. So, but then the podcast is a mechanism to the outcome. You sell people on the outcome. The podcast is kind of secondary, right? People don't necessarily want a podcast. I mean, some people certainly do, right? As far as doing it. But if you don't have a reason, I don't know how much people would do it, right? Like my reason for having my podcast would be because Steal Our Winners, I want to get it as much exposure as I can. And I think it's really easy, since I'm doing all of these interviews anyway, to just do it, to add 15 minutes to those interviews. Oh. I see here a lot of people on the net that offer content courses with not only no advantage, but little knowledge to speak on. Most read a book or watch a video and think they're pros. I don't know. Yeah, there certainly are a lot of people like that. And I think what they don't understand, which I wish they would, is that it would be better if they just went into a life of crime and robbed and mugged people by gunpoint, because then they would only take their money. They would not steal their time, steal their dreams, steal their hopes, and steal what might be either one of only a few opportunities or maybe the only opportunity that this person has to get something off the ground. You know, this was something I really learned from John Reese, and John really pounded this into my head when we were close friends. And, you know, about the responsibility of teaching an economic skill. And the natural evolution of that thought is that when you sell someone crap, right, they spent the money on it. That sucks. But even worse than that is that they spent their time on it. Time that they could have spent on something else, something that actually works, something that where the person teaching them has done it countless of times and has a track record of teaching other people or helping other people or whatever the thing is. So that's where, to me, it's offensive. And I don't think people realize the damage that they do. You know, they don't understand. They don't realize that the damage that they do to someone when they sell them a waste of time. It's really a shame. I'm watching on YouTube, then I can multitask. Not easy on Facebook. Why is it not easy on Facebook, but it's easy on YouTube? I have no understanding of that. Is it because of YouTube Red or something like that? The YouTube algorithm is showing you some love. They encourage live streaming. That's cool. Do you know copywriter Stefan Georgi, you mean? Yes, I do. And actually, I've reached out to him, and I think I'm interviewing him soon. What books should we read to be able to create a business? The biographies of successful entrepreneurs. And the more people you have watching here and commenting, the more YouTube will show it to others. Don't forget to remind people to hit the bell. Oh, yeah. So subscribe, hit the bell so that you get notifications, and give it a thumbs up. And please comment if you are watching this on YouTube, because the more that you comment, the more you tell the YouTube algorithm gods, just like the Facebook algorithm gods, that this is worthy of letting other people know. It's a website to make blogs for books, not having any business yet on the website. It's a website to make blog for books. I'm not sure what that means. I did the Enneagram as you suggested the other day. I'm an 8, closely followed by a 1. Very cool. And did you learn anything about yourself, Nina? Summary books. So true. I think I'm missing part of the conversation. It's short-term thinking, desperate, drives me crazy. Oh, yeah, those people. Yeah. Rich, I've specialized in branding for 30 years, helping consultants and other professionals stand out as the go-to professional or go-to business and get clients. Do you think it would be worth turning my experience and process into an e-learning course or membership? Do you think there might be demand for that sort of thing? Of course, there's demand for that sort of thing. But I would suggest that you first sell a coaching program on that, and then that is the e-learning system. So this way you get paid to deliver it. And if you're as good as you claim, I would say that you make an over-the-top guarantee, and then have people apply. Only pick the people that you can deliver the guarantee on, and you'll be able to charge more because of that. It will also keep you focused on the outcome when you have the course, or when you're doing the coaching program. And it would also be live, so you'd have more interaction. It makes for a better course. Because Facebook makes me keep Facebook open and you can't do anything else, so I can open YouTube on my computer and play it in the background while I'm doing other stuff. Got it. I like these graphics a lot more. They are smooth. Well, I had nothing to do with them, but I appreciate it. All right, let's go back to the questions. Oops, let me go back to the comments for 1 second so I can get rid of it. I understand what you're saying about having an advantage, operating in the zone that comes naturally. Then there's the challenge of taking that to a market, positioning in a way that gets attention. Of course, right? But you don't totally get what you're saying, but you still have to do those other things, the positioning and getting attention, whether you have an advantage or you don't, right? So if you don't have an advantage, getting attention, right, and taking that and positioning is even harder, right? And if you don't have an advantage, what are you really doing? You're trying to find the stupid people in the market that don't know that you don't have an advantage. And if building a business on stupid people, while it certainly can be done, is not fun for an entrepreneur, and it's not the way you're going to make the most money. How do you turn those insights about yourself into a competitive advantage in business? Well, you start thinking about those things that you know about yourself, and then what does that allow you to do that others can't? And then where might that be more valuable than in other places, right? So I'm good at seeing connections. I read a tremendous amount. I tend to overthink things. I'm in touch with my emotions, right? So I start thinking and I have experience in growing businesses. So wouldn't that then make sense that I teach entrepreneurs how to grow businesses by telling them what's coming next, because I've connected the dots, by making connections that they don't see. Like, I don't have to be anything other than who I am to be successful, because my natural strengths make me good in this industry. And that's what everyone should want. I kid you not. There have been many times in my life where I have woken up and not, like on a consistent basis, and not been excited about starting my day. That, I've had that, and I have this, where I wake up every day excited to have the conversations I'm going to have, excited to see the stats of the next split test, of the sales, of whether the YouTube video has grown in ranking. Did we pick up more subscribers? These things all excite me. And I also have, I guess, some either strange, warped, or just not the norm ways of looking at things. I think I think most of us would agree, I'd like to think at least, that trading your life, because we get one life with only so many hours and so many years and et cetera, right? Trading your life to make some money, to go to a job you hate or don't enjoy, or a business where you don't like your customers or you don't enjoy what it is you have to do. In my opinion, you're not you, but for me at least, I'd rather be dead. Like, what's the point of living if I have to spend 8 hours a day doing something I don't enjoy to scrape by, to then struggle the next 8 or 9 hours, like with occupying time, being upset at my situation, God knows what, and then sleep? Like, that does not seem like a pleasant life. I wouldn't kill myself. I'd hit eject on that life as quickly as I could. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. No, I think I'm pretty self-aware. So the initial Enneagram results of the 8 only made me think, yeah, okay, I will research further and determine how to use that knowledge in business. Look at integration and disintegration for an 8, and that might give you some new insight. Yeah, listen to Dr. Vogelman, Google. Rich, everything you've taught here tonight has been golden, easy to understand, and super easy to implement or apply to business immediately. Thank you, Nina. I think the difference is there are those who pretend they are solid, reliable, and are in the game for real. And then there are those who have actually gone forward, put their own stuff on the line and done it. For example, I don't just sell water filtration. I actually have it in my home. I don't just sell ministries on how to launch a podcast or why. I've actually done it. And I've actively run my own ministry podcast. So when it comes down to this, do these other marketers eat their own dog food? Right. And yeah, that certainly is part of it. All right. Rich, how you sell affiliate products when you don't have your own website? Can you sell straight from email? Yeah, of course you can. And, you know, part of the benefit, like, so any business professional could have an info side of their business, and what the internet is, besides an entertainment vehicle, is an information vehicle. And people get online and do searches, and they're searching for information. So most businesses can have an information or content side of their business. One of the benefits of, why is this not moving? Oh, there we go. One of the benefits of affiliate products is that it allows you to test the waters, so to speak, right? It allows you to, sorry, I want to stand up for a second. It allows you to test the waters. It allows you to sell without having to create the product. It allows you to sell without having to create the sales material. And it allows you, therefore, to kind of dive into the market immediately. And by diving into the market immediately, then you can test the viability without having to make your own product, without having to create your own sales material, without any of that stuff. And so you certainly can sell affiliate stuff through email. You can even rent solo email lists and then send that traffic to an offer, or you could send them to an opt-in, then to an offer. So you are at least getting some of that traffic for yourself long-term. And then when you go into that market, guess what? You now have a list. So what I used to do in the baby niche was I had all these ebooks in the baby niche, right? That I would cross promote and all that kind of stuff. But then I also sold physical products as an affiliate, like cribs, like baby monitors, like all of that stuff, because people who were buying that were the perfect customers for my ebooks. And people were already looking for that other stuff, like the baby monitor, like the crib, right? So by tapping into those people, I could be involved in their purchase as an affiliate, get that customer, have them on a list, and now have them for free to my customer, like ultimately for my prospect list, to then move to my customer list. Hopefully that makes sense. Shared on Facebook. Nina, you are a rock star, and Nina has helped me tremendously in YouTube as well. And it's interesting to have this double team on my YouTube. I had a dream the other night about the world ending. When I woke up, I thought I've wasted so much time. I hear you. Hey, good to see you again. One of the very best things I love about Steal Our Winners is that you pour your soul in there and bring in people that actually give advice that is truly working now, versus cashing out on people's desperation and always forcing people to upgrade to get more info. I love sharing your ideas with my clients, like cutting up videos 1,000 different ways to repurpose, splitting cost of advertising in half by partnering on newsletter signups. Thank you for, I guess it got cut, but you're welcome. Love the hair, brother. It's growing. Like, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like these little hairs that are growing on both sides. Like, I don't know. Like, but we were looking at a picture of me in my 20s, and not my 20s, I think my 30s. And my hairline was actually worse than this. Thank you, Asma. You rock. Okay, back on Zuckbook now that I have successfully cut up the organic chicken. Hard to comment with a knife in my hand. Yeah, please don't hurt yourself. All right, let's go back to the banners here. Can it be tested quickly and cheaply, right? Like, do you have, people used to come to me with these ideas, right? That like to build the website would cost $1 million because it was based on some database and something like this. And I'm like, isn't there an easier way to test this? Like, before you spend all this money, time, effort, and energy, is there any way that you can test this? And, you know, when I had my baby books, right, we would dry test them. So we would create the sales letter, have an order button. People would press the order button. They would enter in their name and their email and then proceed to step 2 in checkout. And then a pop-up would come up and say, sorry, we are currently updating the book. We apologize for the inconvenience. Obviously, your credit card will not be charged since you haven't entered one, but we have your email address and name. And when the book comes back out, we will offer you a 50% discount for the inconvenience. What we wanted to know is how many people would continue in the order process, and we would know whether it was something worth writing and creating or not. And so that was a great way to test. But we could have done it even faster if, like, we found an affiliate's offer in the same market, and then we could buy traffic where we were planning on buying traffic, send it to that sales letter, see if it sold well enough, and then we wouldn't have to do anything except go to wherever we're buying traffic and buy some. We were writing on a lot of ebooks that didn't exist and no one else had a product on, but if we did, that would be an even faster approach. So is there a faster way for you to test this? Because the faster you can get an answer, the less of your time you're putting at risk. Okay, not only can it be tested quickly, but then once it is tested, can it be launched quickly? Like, is this going to be like slow, hard grind, or can this be launched and be profitable very soon thereafter, if not immediately? Can you identify where your market is online? Obviously, well, not for some people, but obviously, if you can't identify where you're going to go to find your customers, your future customers, then guess, and there's nobody, well, I think the next question is, covers the next thing. But if you don't know where to go to find your market, then how are you going to sell those people? 12, are there complementary businesses that have already built a list, a group, et cetera, of your target market? I don't even remember how many I put in here. It looks like I put 14. All right. 13, do you already have a following in the market, or do you have marquee clients in the market? And then last but not least, because then I want to go back to comments and then I got to figure out what I'm recording here, is your solution either better or faster or easier, and also most importantly, different than your competition, right? Is there a way for you to position your solution as one of these? And ideally, 2 of these with different always being there and either faster, easier, better, but different. If I'm looking up, it's because my TV is, I'm looking at I have the video monitor, like what you guys see up here. I also have a screen here and a screen here, and then I have my other computer here. But that's where my eyes go, if you have wondered that. All right, let's see here. Hey, hold on. Hey, not sure why got cut off. That's me, Christy Limbaugh. Hey, Christy. Always appreciate you. The solo ad's idea to build a list was pure gold. I've heard it before, but it clicked this time. Luz building has always been a pain. Oh, list building has always been in the pain in the neck for us. Got it. Rich, can see your name if you give permission to StreamYard here. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Todd, love the baby order test drive example. Freaking brilliant. Thanks, man. How do you buy traffic from an affiliate? Oh, for an affiliate offer. Well, it's harder these days, but you can certainly do solo email blasts. Yeah, Facebook doesn't want you doing it to selling affiliate offers. That's so smart. Thank you, Teresa. As for testing, I was using the affiliate comparison, but like the book offer, not available currently, then giving 50% truly shows intent. Jem, thanks. And here's my favorite commenter of all time. Not, well, certainly on this stream, no offense to anyone, but my daughter, Ava, if you're still watching, hi, baby, love you. Look forward to FaceTiming tonight. It actually looks better if you look up. Looks like you're looking into the camera. Well, this is into the camera, right? And then this, either I look cross-eyed, but this is up, right? I think I look crazy like this, I think. What's your opinion on Aaron Fletcher's free program on course creating? I saw you in the group. I have been in his membership for a year. He's a champ. I really enjoy Aaron. I have a lot of respect for what he's created. I think it's very intelligent. I think it's a program well constructed for an outcome, better than most programs. And I think he teaches other people how to create effective programs. So I consider him one of the good guys of online marketing and out there. Do you still do solo ads? We do a shitload of them in Agora. Where do you find good solo ad lists? We went over this last time, but I will tell you. Where is it? It's lists.nextmark, nextmark.com. List.nextmark.com. You don't want to buy them from there, but that's where they are listed, and then you will track down the list owner. Rich, you will have to pay at least $1,000 for that comment. Who's that? Is that Kim? Hot. You don't look cross-eyed or crazy. You're funny. Okay. See how important live streaming is on YouTube? You can stay in touch with your kids there. Was she on YouTube? Is that what happened? Yeah. Wow. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, she does. She's probably never on Facebook. That would make sense. That would totally make sense. Aaron Fletcher is one of the good guys. I totally agree. Cool. So what do you guys think, right? Like, I got to create this video. I need answers now on what we're going to create this YouTube video on. It's supposed to be on, how to start an online business. I like the questions, but if you don't, by all means, tell me. I'd rather hear it now and get some advice and wisdom before I cut this video. In addition, I thought it'd be really cool, and you guys tell me, if I also, at the beginning of the video, told them that at the end of the video, that I was going to show them a way to get a, 10 full trainings from Perry Marshall, Jeff Walker, Mike Dillard, Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Neil Patel, Eric Siu, Molly Mahoney, Todd Herman, Perry Marshall. And this way, get people to stay to the end and also have them excited to go see the CSIB docuseries. So sweet, your daughter commented. Reminds me of something my daughters would do. Yeah, it's hard to get them on these live streams, but they show up every once in a while. Facebook is for us old folks. That's true. Very true. The Graphic of Entrepreneur book, who the author? Don't know what you're talking about, Ozma. My greatest strengths are ideation and strategy, background in digital marketing and videography. Any ideas? Well, if you have a background in digital marketing and videography and you're great at strategy and ideation, come up with the idea, figure out the strategy. It should be in something with video and digital marketing. Those four things combined give you lots of options, primarily in online business. So where's the challenge? Now, the question is that I'm sure that's not the only things. So those all allow you to be very effective. Now, the question is what do you want to be effectively doing? Questions will be helpful and valuable. Cool. Yes, give them the CTA at the end. Rich, who is your all-time best or at least one of the best copywriters for you? Well, the copywriter who has sold me the most stuff is Don Houtman. Met Don 15 years ago. He lived in New York City. I don't know where he lives these days, but he's the one that wrote the headline, speak Spanish like a diplomat or speak French like a diplomat. I didn't buy that course, but I bought other courses that he wrote the copy for. And when I came over to his apartment and to meet him, I was looking through his copybook and I was like, oh, I bought that. Right. So that was kind of funny. So I don't know Don very well. I met him that one time, but he has sold me the most copy. I loved the language that Clayton Makepeace used. I loved his Inquirer-esque headlines, and I thought I could read more of his copy than anyone else's. I think Evaldo's book, the 16-word sales letter or something like that, or 16-sentence sales letter, you won't find a book that is as good, that breaks it down as simple as his. I love Sean Vossler's book, which is much more than just a copywriting book. It's more a marketing book. And obviously Gary Bencivenga ranks right up there. Gary Halpert does. I loved reading Gary. John Carlton. Loved John Carlton's copy. I'd say my two favorites are probably Clayton Makepeace and John Carlton as far as what I like to read. But so that's the answer. I definitely want to see the docuseries. Well, R5 Formula, I want you to see the docuseries, and it's absolutely free. A book about business you recommend to read. If it's wrong, you can recommend another. There are so many good business books, but I guess it depends on what you're trying to achieve. A great book that is about negotiation, but you could apply it to marketing, is Chris Voss's book on negotiation, whatever the name of the book is. I forget. I forget what the name of his book is, but that whole, when I heard his book, when I started reading his book, the whole idea that you want to get the person to say, that's right, not you're right, but that's right, is what I try and accomplish in my marketing. Nina, such a great point and insight. Oh, okay. The most important point was you don't get extra points for making it hard, so don't make things so hard. And yes, 100% tell them about the trainings. Cool. All right. Can I answer this? Would you consider a newer podcast? Yeah. How can you reach me? Reach me on Facebook. I will do it. Not a problem. And I think people should be told, don't spend so much on courses, just start a business. I like your opinions on that. All right. Davey Paul, that was from Rich, made me get a book out and write it down. 16-word sales that are cool. Never split the difference. Yes, that's it. Something like that. Yeah. All right. So I don't know. I don't feel as prepared this time. So I'm going to need a minute here. All right. So, and I think I need to, and I'm just thinking out loud here for a second, guys. I think I need to, because this video is going to be different, I need to explain why it's going to be different, right? Like not your traditional, like, here are 5 businesses that you can do in 2021 to make money online, right? Like that's not really what I want to do. Thanks, Davey Paul. Yeah. No, I don't always do very well. I've been on a streak lately, right? The last 2 have been good, but that don't give me more credit than I deserve. Okay. Okay, last question to you guys. I'm not delaying. I promise you that. But I think it matters, but I also think I come off like an asshole. So I don't know what to do. Like, I'd like to start by saying something along the lines like, hey, let's talk about starting a business in 2000. Well, let's start talking. Hey, let's talk about how to start an online business that actually works. Now, there's a lot of advice out there that you could find. So why should you listen to me? This is the part that I think I sound like an asshole, but I don't know necessarily how to convey this in a way that's not assholey, right? I'm the coach. Some of the people I've coached when they were just starting out, right, which is obviously relevant to a video about how to start an online business, are people like Ryan Deiss of Digital Marketer, Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, right? Like these things should matter. Tell me what you guys think though, or if that comes off kind of assholey and whatever. But like I'm competing for retention once someone clicks on my ad. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but on the other hand, they should know, I don't know, from my perspective, that they're lucky to have hit my video. But if I say that, don't I sound like the biggest asshole in the world? Okay, so Teresa says, I don't sound like an asshole for saying that. Anyone else have an opinion? If not, I guess. Okay, don't worry about sounding like an asshole. You're the OG, and that those that don't know will know soon. I think you have to, not assholey, just building credibility in case you don't know. So who are you targeting? Already entrepreneurs who would have heard of them, or new people that have no clue who those people are? Yeah, I don't know. I thought about that as I was saying that. Not at all. Yes, I think you should mention it. Okay. Make it look like you're giving a secret presentation. Hey, this is what I found when I did. Besides Polaroid. Yeah, but not, you sound totally cool. Okay. How can I sell more? How to find new channel to sell? Not sure if offline business owners know these gurus. Yeah, I know, but leverage them. They have leverage. As long as it's true, they're good. Of course they're true, Denise. People will think you're an asshole regardless. That's probably true. And they might be right. You may just run across someone who has no clue who you are, so you're not sounding prideful. Okay. Thanks, Nina. Okay, so this is, I'm going to raise the camera just so that I can stand on this. So bear with me 1 second, guys. Okay. Oh, I'm still too tall. All right. One more time, guys. Sorry. And think of it as a rectum instead. All right. That's good. Cool. All right. So what do you think? Should I go through these questions? Do you think so? Should I set it up and then kind of explain? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Unless go through, I assume I should go through the banners. Correct? All right. So now let's get rid of the banners. That's so weird. I guess I got to do this, then that. Okay. See what the last comment is. Banners, yes. Okay, cool. All right. Just getting ready. All right. How to start an online business that works for. Okay. I don't know. 2 times now I've nailed it. I don't know that I'm going to be able to nail it this time, but let's get her done. They told me to make it even a little bit longer than 10 minutes. Of course, I'm doing this with no practice or anything. So it's always somewhat of a interesting, I can put this right there. All right. And I can raise my desk too, hopefully. Let's see. All right. Okay. Can I make it even higher? Oh, in a second. Thanks, guys, for waiting. I know. This is a stall technique more than anything else, probably. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. So put this there. How to start an online business, right? Is it how to start an online business or how to start a business online? Start an online business. Okay. All right. Hi, today we're going to talk about how to start an online business. Got to start over. Sorry, guys. So this is what's going to happen. Now, the first 2 I did nail without doing this, but blah. Okay. Okay, yeah, Teresa, no problem. But let me turn this on silent. Let me put this on do not disturb. There we go. For 1 hour. Okay. And I don't blame any of you if you take off now to watch your person that you respect or admire tumble and fall. All right. How to start an online business that works, one that works for you instead of you working for it. Now, the sad fact is that most online businesses that are started fail. And even the ones that don't fail, more often than not, the owner ends up stuck in a business that's plateaued, that ends up being more of a job than a business that they own, that they are ultimately free of. Now, my name is Rich Schefren, and if you don't know who I am the guy that originally coached Ryan Deiss of Digital Marketer when he was first starting online, or Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels when he was just starting online, or Todd Brown of marketing funnel automation, or pretty much every guru out there started out by starting with me. So I think I'm very well established to actually be talking to you about starting an online business. In fact, I've been running my own online business for 20 years. And before that, I had some offline businesses. In addition to that, I've helped some of the biggest companies grow, but that's not why you're here. So we're not even going to talk about that. So what I want to share with you is something more meta or something more global than what you're going to hear on most other videos that talk about the businesses that you should start or what type of businesses are the hot business right now. Because the truth is that businesses that succeed are not started because they're the hot business, right? There's no advantage to you picking a hot business and then competing with all the other people that chose that hot business. So we're going to take a step back from there first, right? And what you have to understand is that business is the biggest game that you're ever going to play for money in your entire life, right? I had this client a long time ago. He was a professional tennis player. I would be an idiot to bet money on a tennis game with this client of mine who's a professional tennis player. It makes no sense. But as stupid as it would be for me to bet against this professional tennis player that I would beat him in tennis, it's much more stupid to play the game of business without an advantage, to play the game of business like you would bet on a game of tennis. And the reason why is that the business that you start is going to be the biggest bet that you ever make in your entire life. It has the potential to be worth much more than the real estate you invest in. It has the potential to be worth much more than all the income that you've ever made from every job that you've ever had. Or it could actually go the other way and actually cost you a lot of money. So when people go out there and they sell you on an opportunity of a business, you got to take a step back and really ask yourself, is that business right for me? Right? Certainly, if you wanted to get married tomorrow, you could go to a pickup bar, wait for the most desperate person to walk in and then propose marriage to that person. And while that might be a recipe to get married, it's certainly not a recipe to have a actually good marriage, right? And you want to be married to a business. And when you first start out, you don't want to be married to it, but you will be. And so therefore, it better be something that you enjoy, and it better be something that you have an advantage in, right? It's the biggest bet that you're ever going to make. So when it comes to actually having an advantage, how can you tell? Well, before I tell you these steps, a couple of things I want to tell you. One, if you are watching this right now, which obviously you are, please press the thumbs up. Please press the subscribe button. Please press the notification so that you know every time I put a video out here, because every time I do, I try to give you the best information I can about what it really takes to be successful online. So that's first. Also, I've created a bunch of points here that are going to be where my name is, right there, wherever, Rich Schefren. But what will be there are a bunch of different points that I want to cover. And then last but not least, I'm going to tell you a place, actually it's in the description below, but I'm going to give you more information on how you can get a free training from some of the biggest names in internet marketing. Everyone from Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Neil Patel, Eric Siu, Molly Mahoney, Todd Herman, James Von Ellswick, Perry Marshall, and the names go on, right? But I'll tell you about that after this video. So now let's get to it. I want to make sure that you don't take anyone's bad advice. And before I give you the very last points here, before we dive into these points, we're going to make this your idea here. What I want to tell you is a model, okay? The best models have you do the least amount of work to get the most amount of information. Now, we're going to get into some of that in a minute, but I just want you to understand that you want to, when getting a business online off the ground, you can do it in a way where you go service to product, right? So you sell a service that when you sell that service, it causes you to create the product that you're going to sell. So this way you actually get paid all the way through. And if you can't sell the service, then you know not to create the product. That's one. I was sharing some information earlier, and my good friend Nina mentioned to me that one of the smartest things I said in that conversation is that you don't get rewarded for the effort that you put into your business. It doesn't end up being that way. There's no extra reward for effort. And so if there's not an extra reward for effort, don't you want to do this in the easiest possible way? And so what I'm about to share with you is the easiest possible way. All right. So when I talk to business owners or entrepreneurs or people that want to be entrepreneurs, I ask them to consider these things when they're telling me their idea. First, who's your target, right? And you should be able to answer this in two ways. One, who's your target market? Like, what are the people that you're going after? And then once you can describe who your target market is, the next step is to actually dive a little bit deeper and figure out the actual person. Can you define your ideal customer, right? John Lee Dumas, who has a wonderful podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. I was talking to him the other day, and he talks about finding your perfect listener for your podcast. What would that person want, right? It's the same here. What does your target persona, the target avatar, the target person, prospect that you're going after, what is it, right? That they're looking for? What is their experience? Who are they? How old are they? What's their life like, etc. Okay, so who's your target? What specific problem are you solving? Obviously, you need to be solving either a problem, right, or helping someone achieve a goal that they haven't been able to achieve, which is also a problem. So what problem are you solving, right? What's the market size? How big is the market? And then what's your business model? Whoops. Let's see. What's your business model? There it is. What's your business model? In other words, how is your business going to get customers? How is it going to get them to spend money? How is it going to get them to spend more money? Right? And what is the process of how your business creates whatever it's selling? And how is it finding these people? This all comes together to be your business model. And then what ultimately is the solution you're offering? Because at the end of the day, the better the solution you provide, the more different that solution is than what's out there currently, the more likely you are going to be to succeed. So those are the first 5, and these are 5 about your idea. So when you're thinking about your business idea, these should be the 5 that you want to answer when you're considering an idea, right? Now, me as a business coach who's worked with literally tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and is responsible for quite a bit of growth online, people tell me business ideas all the time. And so these questions allow me to know whether or not the entrepreneur is on the right path and going to build a business that ultimately they can get free of, or are they going to be the type of entrepreneur that doesn't get there, that either gets stuck somewhere in the middle or actually never succeeds at all, which is a damn shame. So first thing is, do you have or have had the problem that you're solving? And the reason I ask this question is that it is so much easier to sell to someone who you have great insight about. And it's a lot easier to have insight about something that you've struggled with or continue to struggle with than not having that experience. So it's a plus sign for you if you've had this problem or you still have this problem and now you're going to solve it for yourself and you're going to solve it for others. But being able to articulate the problem will give you so much power to your audience, right? And because they will say to themselves, this person gets me, or this describes me. And it's much easier to do that if you've actually experienced it. If not, that's where great copywriting comes in. All right. Number 2, is the problem severe, urgent, and consequential? The sad reality is most of us procrastinate most of the time. Most people don't solve their problems. We only solve the problems, or we're only highly motivated to solve the problems where they're severe. It's a big problem, right? It's urgent. We have to solve this problem as soon as possible. And if we don't, there are consequences. I was sharing in a live stream earlier today that my very first product was teaching people how to beat a drug test. Because if you think about it, when someone types in how to pass a drug test in Google, what do we know about them? One, we know they have a problem. You don't type in how to pass a drug test unless you have a drug test coming and you think you're going to fail. If you fail that drug test, right? There are going to be consequences, and you generally aren't just searching to know. It's because you have a drug test coming up rather soon. So that's a problem that's severe, it's urgent, and it's consequential. Number 3, is the problem frequently experienced? And by frequently, I don't mean that the person keeps having the same problem, but in the market of your prospects, what percentage of them will have had this problem at one point, and what percentage of them as a group of the overall are currently experiencing? Is it 10% at any given time? Is it 20%? Is it 90%? Right? What's the number? What percentage of your prospects in that market are probably experiencing that problem in this given moment? Is solving the problem necessary? Is this a nice to get rid of problem, or is this a must get rid of problem? The next question really leads to just a furthering of the previous point. And that is this a problem in search of a solution? And what I mean by a problem in search of a solution is that are the people who have this problem, are they doing things to get rid of the problem? Are they in search of a solution? Have they spent money for a solution? Have they tried to fix things on their own? If people are not trying to solve the problem, then guess what? The odds of you selling a solution, probably not that high. Next, is the market proven to spend money? There are some markets where it's very hard to get them to spend money, right? Masseuses spend a lot less money on marketing material than chiropractors, yet they don't do the same thing, but a lot of the marketing can be slightly altered for either group. And so does your market have money to spend so that you can grow your business? If not, it's a moot point. And I've seen quite too many businesses actually be started in areas where the target market does not have money. And that's just a bad idea. Do you understand the market? Or are you a part of it, right? If you have the same problem, then obviously you are, but maybe you don't have that problem, but you're still in the market. Props for you if you are. The reason why that's so important is something that I've taught for over a decade, and it's very important when it comes to marketing. And here's the quote, and it is, that which is most personal, what is most personal to you, what you don't want to share with anyone else, is actually most general. Most people share the same problems, but we don't express it. The first person that will express it, or express it even attributed to someone else, will resonate in the market hugely. So if you're in the market, you know what those things are that people experience and what they struggle with and the problems they have. You're in the game to win big. Okay, do you have an unfair advantage against the competition? And this is where I was talking about how silly it would be for me to play tennis with my old client who's a tennis pro for money, okay? You want to have the odds stacked in your favor. The only way that you can have the odds stacked in your favor is if you have an advantage. Well, where does this advantage come from? The advantage has to come from you in the beginning, either by your experience, your strengths, your passions. There's got to be something that you bring to the table, right, that allows you to have an advantage. It could be a better story, a better backstory. It could be that you've developed a new way to get an outcome, but there has to be something. And you might not get that advice from everyone, but I can assure you this, that if you're in a business without an advantage, the only way that you can make up for it is working harder and harder and harder than everyone else. And that's a losing game, because you will always find people willing to work harder than you. You will always find people who are better at outsourcing and paying very cheap labor to work harder than you. So if you don't have an advantage, like when you buy an opportunity from someone who's selling you a course on this online business that you can buy and leverage, you have zero advantage, zero, and you will fail. And yes, that's probably not what you want to hear, but like, I'm trying to give it to you straight, and I'd rather you spend more time trying to figure out what the right business is for you than spending a lot of money and time on a lot of things that are the wrong business for you and potentially rob you of the opportunity of ever starting an online business. So do you have an advantage? At the end of the day, you must. Can it be tested quickly and cheaply? I shared something earlier on my live stream today about when I used to be in the baby niche. And what we would do is we'd actually we would develop a sales letter, because a lot of these books that we were writing in the baby niche, there was no one selling an ebook for this topic. So we would actually write up the sales letter. People would press buy now. They'd go to the next page, which would be an order page, but it would only be the name and email address. And then it would say proceed to step number 2, checkout. And so they put their name and email address in, and then they press the next button, proceed to checkout. And the next page would be just a big image, and it would say, we apologize. We are currently updating the book. We will not charge your credit card because we don't have your credit card. You haven't submitted it yet. However, we do have your email address, and we will send you a 50% discount coupon that you can use when we've updated the book. We are currently updating the book. I think I left that out. That is a much cheaper way than developing the product and doing everything else. But there's even a cheaper way. And that is, in this day and age, there are affiliate products for almost everything. And you could actually sell someone else's product to just see, can you find the market? Can you get them to click on ads? Do they end up buying? And why not find out all that information before you ever create a single thing? Can it be launched quickly? Is there an easy, cheap, and effective way that you can launch this? Can you identify where the market is online? If you can't identify where your market is online, then you can't sell, right? So are there groups in Facebook? Are there channels on YouTube? Are there people advertising under the keywords, the major phrases that people type into search engines? Are there special sites that get lots of traffic, right? Like if we're trying to target retired people, there's the American Association of Retired Persons in the United States, AARP, right? They have already aggregated a large older audience. So that would be a great place for us to advertise if we're selling to older people. So what about your business? What are you selling? And can you identify where your market hangs out online? 12, are there complementary businesses that are already serving the same customers? By complementary, I mean non-competitive. But if there are businesses that are already serving your market, then they've already done the hard work of aggregating your audience. And oftentimes you can do a joint venture deal, an affiliate deal, or a strategic alliance where you benefit from all the hard work that they've done, and they benefit from the hard work they've done by being able to monetize more by getting a piece from you of the business they help you have. So let's go on. Do you have a following in the market or marquee clients in the market, right? If you have a following in the market, it's obviously easier to launch. If you have marquee clients, it's easier to launch. And by marquee clients, I mean clients like the ones I shared with you earlier. If you're in online marketing, you know who those people are. If you don't, you don't. But since I'm talking to people who want to be online entrepreneurs or are online marketers or digital marketers, obviously I would want to have clients that those people would know, and you would want to have clients that your target market knows. And I think this is the last point here. Is your solution better, faster, or easier? And is it different from the competition? At the end of the day, one of the easiest ways to stand out from your competition is be different. You must be different. Different is obvious. You can see that from far away. Faster and easier is often not known until after the product or service has been bought. It should be better. It should be easier, but you might not get the opportunity for them to even know that if you're not different. So those are some of the ideas that I covered in a live stream I just did on how to start an online business that actually works for you instead of you having to consistently work for it. Now, in addition to everything I've shared, my favorite overall approach, just to share this with you, is a service to product. And what I mean by that is like the way I've always done it. So the way I've always created the products of my business, I would write a report. That report would be about the way I saw the world that I knew my prospects didn't see the world that way. But if they did see it that way, they would see the benefit of my product, right? So I would write reports that would help my prospects better value what it is that I'm offering. Then I would announce a coaching program. I would try and sell said coaching program. And fortunately, I was successful. Based on what I needed to say in order to sell the coaching program, told me what I needed to have in the coaching program. Then I would deliver the coaching program and get feedback every step of the way after every module. Then when I was finished with the coaching program, I would now have a product, that coaching program that I could sell, that was created with people, so it was better and it was more relevant because I had the guidance of my target market. So now let me tell you about this this great training that you can have absolutely free. I know this was not my best video, but if you're watching this, then you so deserve this. It is this link below. You will also see it in the description, so you can just click on it. And this is basically a dream come true for anyone who wants to market online. I gathered the world's top experts. They all flew into Delray Beach, Florida. And for 24 hours, we shared everything that we knew about how small businesses and online entrepreneurs could grow no matter how difficult big tech makes it for any of us. And so the link you see below and the link in the description below will give you 10 free episodes, absolutely free. All you have to do is opt in and you'll get 10 free episodes of some of the best training by some of the best marketers online today. So I hope you appreciate this message. Like I said, I know it's not like every other video out there about starting an online business, but take it from someone who has started numerous online businesses themselves, has coached countless others to successful online businesses, and has probably worked with many people who are starting further back with less than where you are starting now. What you need to do is think for yourself. Do not buy an opportunity, create your own, and create that opportunity on something that you can provide that gives you an advantage so that you have the largest opportunity to actually win. You have the largest probability to actually win, and you don't go down a bunch of wild goose chases. Most people go out there, they buy lots of products on how to do stuff, and then and only after they've had all these products and still don't know what to do, they start thinking about what they should do. You need to think about what you should do first based on what you bring to the table, based on what you know, and then and only then figure out how to execute that model. This is Rich Schefren to Higher Profits and Beyond. I hope you click that link. You won't be sorry. And please make sure to subscribe, thumbs up, and most important also, comment to me. I comment back. I read every comment. I appreciate what you want to know. So tell me what you want to know or what you think of this video. Until I speak to you again, to Higher Profits and Beyond, this is Rich Schefren, over and out. I don't think that was as good as my previous ones. Vincenzo, you're going to have to cut it from there. You need to do the push-ups. Yeah. You think so? Or should I was thinking about re-recording it. Oh, thanks. Guys, you're not just saying this, right? Really? I felt like I wasn't that good today. Guys, all right. If you guys thought it was good enough, then I guess it was good enough. See, now if I'm alone, I'm re-recording that 20 times. Because I would think that that wasn't horrible. It's authentic. Okay, well, maybe that works. Okay, cool. Okay. A couple of edits would make it smoother. I have a co-worker, and I'll share it with everyone. Holy cow. Sounded very natural. Good to go. Okay. Seriously, not blowing smoke. It was great. Cool. Okay, well, then we're good. I absolutely love watching your process. Makes me feel better how I get before mine. If you doubt, then I feel better about my doubts. I think it was very good. Cool. Okay. Don't re-record it then, guys. Be kind to yourself. As Dan Kennedy said, good enough is good enough. Yeah, but I'm a perfectionist, which, as we know, means I'm trying to convince the world of something I'm not convinced of myself. That was well done. Cool. All right. That's fine. Cool. Maybe add a short teaser. I was thinking about like adding CSIB at the end. I think that would be cool, but I wanted to ask, so I didn't do it. Okay, don't bother re-recording. Yeah, that's true. Kim, my better half, wants to know what wasn't good about it. One take win for Rich. Okay. But I would like to know. Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. Also, any noticeable difference on this video versus like when I was using Ecamm? Like, did you find this video, not what I was talking about, but the quality of the video better, the quality of the sound, something like that? I was thinking, yep. Can you clip the parts you don't like? That all depends on whether Vincenzo does that or not. Perfection kills more good ideas. Seems integral. I wouldn't touch a thing. All right, cool. Not a big difference. Cool, guys. All right. Well, I've already kept you later than I should. I am looking forward to kind of getting better at StreamYard. But remember, this was my very first crack at it. And you like StreamYard a lot better. Why do you like StreamYard a lot better? Because Renan can't tell the difference. The stream and sound was solid for me. Yeah, I think it might be a better platform for that. The comments are easier to read, but people need to be advised at the beginning to allow StreamYard permissions to display their pics and names. Got it. The only thing that wasn't good was when you struggled a few times and seemed to be impatient with yourself. We all mess up. It's live. It's fine to mess up. Keep moving. Got it. Be happy it's done. I am happy it's done. Do you do this live to pressure yourself into performing? I do it because, yes. To answer your question shortly, yes. And also, I could spend 2 hours alone trying to do it, and I might get frustrated and then want to stop or go downstairs and waste some time because I'm upset at myself. So, yes. Seems a lot more streamlined. Interesting. Okay. The quality and sound were great. What camera are you using? I have the same mic. I'm using a Canon 3Ti Rebel. It's really old. It's like 12 years old. It has a good lens on it. But this is just sent right into the, I just have that right into my Mac directly. No add-ons, just USB. And the picture is phenomenal. Just signed up. Glad to hear it, man. One suggestion about looking up when talking, have the monitor close to the lens would feel more natural. Yeah, I got to get used to doing this more. And, but like with the switching of comments, if I press, no, I can't press the down button. Got to create some keyboard shortcuts so that I can go to the next comment without having to look down. Yeah, I will definitely test having a guest, but I have both, so I'm going to use both. Don't feel any difference from Ecamm. Cool. As usual, thank you so much, Rich. Special kudos to all the folks here. The community is truly high level. I always get something from you guys here. Thanks, Renan. And thank you once again for sending that email with your suggestions. I used to do 30 takes for a 12-minute video. It was grueling. Live is such a cool way to create content. I think so, for sure. I have the same problem. I need pressure to perform and not be self-critical. Yep. You don't want to constantly stare at the camera. It can make people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, that's true. 3:30 in the morning. Wow, Osama. Well, you are committed. It's a lot more pleasing watching you on YouTube. Finally, Facebook is a bummer. Cool. Well, now I'm on both. And all it took was Dr. Vogelman giving the thumbs up on StreamYard. So, as you guys know and heard for the whole 2.5 hours, that I love Kim so much and that I can't wait until this live stream is over so that I can be with her. You heard me say that about every 10 minutes of the live stream. I'm sure if Kim was here, she would have heard them all those times. Just go with it. Just go with it, guys. Anyway, so thanks for being here. Once again, I always say this, but it's so true. I appreciate each and every one of you so much for being here. I know you have a lot of choices of how you could spend your time. Respect to you for trying to learn stuff that will help you be a better entrepreneur. Like, props to you. That's how I like to spend my time, and gratitude from my side that you've chosen to spend it with me. Thank you for all the comments and the shares. Thank you for rallying me. I probably wouldn't be doing these videos if I wasn't doing them live, the ones for YouTube. I will be make sure to check out your business blueprint. I know it's later than when I said I was going to post it, but it's there now and you can get it free. Plus, I will be emailing tomorrow. No, I'll be emailing Saturday morning, where you can do a search for the video and then click on it and watch it once or twice or more. And what else? Oh, and then I'll also post it to the Facebook. I'm sure I promised something else other than your business blueprint, and I'm not remembering it right now. So guys, remind me next week what I still said I was going to post to the, next week what I want to do, and hopefully one of you guys will remind me, I want to post every single free report that I wrote to the Facebook group. So that's the Internet Business Manifesto, the Missing Chapter, the Final Chapter, the Attention Age Doctrine 1, the Attention Age Doctrine 2, the Maven Manifesto, etc., the Uncertainty Syndrome Entrepreneurial Emergency. And I want to put those all in the Facebook group. And if you're not in the Facebook group, just do a search for Strategic Profits, and it's a free Facebook group to join. That's it, guys. Tomorrow night, I am going to Mark Ford Cigar Bar to smoke cigars. I'm excited about that. Haven't seen Mark in the cigar bar. I've seen him out of the cigar bar a bunch of times last month, but not in the cigar bar. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm spending the weekend in Miami, or at least in Brickell. It is Glenn Ledwell's birthday, and I think we're renting a boat on Saturday and going to be having a fun time on a boat. As you all know, COVID exists down here, but we pretend it doesn't in Florida, and I wouldn't have it any other way, at least for me and where I live. Everybody's got to make their own choice, but from that, I guess we're done. So thanks for being here. To Higher Profits and Beyond, Rich Schefren over and out. I'm going to now press that red button.